Coming from a tier 2 city, being a woman, that I can vouch for that the problem you're working for is very, very, very real.
I would say 95% of our business happens from smaller towns. Is there any mistake from our end? No. We have to see a showroom where they'll give.
Welcome to Startup Story Spotlight. For those of you who don't know, I come from a tier 2 city. And being a woman myself, this conversation today was important to have. The founder that we're interviewing today is on a mission to solve for women's pressing problems that have been for the longest time remained taboo to even talk about, such as intimate well-being and lingerie market. The major portion of lingerie market of India is unorganized and ill-informed. There's so many misconceptions, unawareness surrounding that industry, which is why Mr. Prasanna, the founder of Wonderfit, plans to step up and change that picture for good. He plans to do it through education, information, awareness, trust, quality products and services. So without further ado, let us welcome the guest. Prasanna, we already discussed about your story on how you started with Wonderfit, and which is a pretty interesting story. So why don't you tell our listeners as well the story on how you founded Wonderfit and the mission that you're on to empower the women?
How and why? See, it's a small story. I will just run into the story. Every time my wife had to buy lingerie, okay, she had to go to, in fact, I used to drive her down. So I had to take her down to a shop which is almost around 1 kilometers away from my home. And there was one common question which I used to ask her always as to why is it that you go so far when you have so many shops just next to your home? Like, there are at least 8 to 10 shops next to your home. Why do you want to go so far and then buy the lingerie in that particular shop only? Initially, she used to avoid me, telling me, you will not understand, it's a ladies' problem. So, मेरे को थोड़ा curiosity बढ़ गया कि what exactly is this ladies' problem that I cannot understand? So when I started, probing a little bit more onto the problem, then she told me, in that particular shop, there is one lady who will actually educate me about my right size and the right fit. Okay. So if I go to another shop, I don't get that knowledge. I don't get that experience of wearing the right fit. But this lady actually measures my size and guides me into which product is right for me. This was like an eye-opener for me, and it was like an era moment for me, to be more precise. And then when I started doing a little bit more research on that, me and my wife, of course, both of us started doing a little research on that. And we realized that it is not just a problem for my wife. It's a global problem, not just India, it's a global problem. More than 80% of the women globally do not wear the right size of lingerie. Now, one important question which I asked myself is, how is it that lady is not wearing a right size lingerie? Is she at fault? No, she is not at fault. Is there any mistake from her end? No. But unfortunately, she is a sufferer because nobody's educated her about the right fit and the right size. So then I saw there is a gap in the market. Typically when you ask a lady to go and buy lingerie, there is always a hesitation in her mind. If you go to a shop and there is one bhaiya, ek bhaiya khade rahega dukaan mein, wahan par jaake aap puchoge, bhaiya mujhe 34B dena. The bhaiya will look down on you and tell, madam ji aap 36 try kijiye. This is a very embarrassing for the lady. And number two, the trial rooms. We all know the horrors of the trial room. How many of them actually use the trial room? And if she buys a lingerie from the shop and comes back home, if it fits her, great, it is good. If it doesn't fit her, it will go back into her wardrobe. It will lie there in the wardrobe. And take typical example, if we talk about 8 to 10 lingerie lying in the wardrobe, she'll be using hardly 2 or 3 in that. Why is it? Because these 2 or 3 are the right fit and she's comfortable in them. That is what I realized, when we started doing a little bit of market research, we realized this is a huge gap. And business is one part. Apart from business, the education part, the knowledge sharing part, the pain point that a lady undergoes, who will address it? Somebody has to address it, right? That is how Wonderfit came into existence, Lata. That is the story in brief, or rather, I took a little elaborate on that. That is how Wonderfit came into existence.
No, of course it deserves that explanation, and I can root for the cause that you're working for. Coming from a tier 2 city, being a woman myself, I've seen that in my families, I've seen that in my close relatives, I've seen that around me so much that I can vouch for that the problem you're working for is very, very, very real. That's
Thank you so much.
and it really needs the attention. So very glad that you're working for this. But also you know we've talked about this, you're an education first brand, right? So
Correct.
the major idea of Wonderfit is to also address the problems of women's intimate health, wellness, being right, and to educate them about that, right? So tell us a bit about that aspect as well. How do you educate women? What are some myths and misconceptions that you've seen come up in your journey with women's intimate well-being, and how do you address them?
Okay. Wonderfit, of course, we are a lingerie brand. Okay, we sell lingerie. That's the fact. But the primary product in Wonderfit is not lingerie. The primary product, as you rightly said, is the education what we want to give to every woman. In fact, what we do is we not only educate and share the information about the right fit and what happens if you wear the wrong fit. See, simple examples, typical examples I'll just take. If you ask a group of say 8 to 10 ladies when you like in a small gathering, and if you ask them, how many of you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, and headaches frequently? You won't be surprised to see at least 7 to 8 of them raising their hands and telling, I have this problem commonly. Now, what is the reason for this problem? All you know, it might be one of the reasons, or one of the major factors would be that they are not wearing the right fit of lingerie. And they're suffering because, and the most important factor here is what I realized is, they are suffering without their mistake, without their fault. It is that nobody's come in front and to educate them. So Wonderfit as a brand, when you ask me, I say, education is the first product. Lingerie is a byproduct of that, which sells on its own. Once we educate a person about the right fit, the right size, the lingerie sells of itself. When we talk about the right fit and the right size, I come from a tier 3 or a tier 4 small town. Okay, and I have seen the hush-hush affair of a lingerie. Like, nobody should talk about it. There's a taboo to talk about innerwear. Okay, but then I realized, like, somebody has to talk. Somebody has to talk about it. Somebody has to solve this problem. And a wise man has once said, I don't remember the name of the person, but he has once said that to have a successful business enterprise, all you need to do is identify a problem, a genuine problem, and then give a simple and effective solution for the problem. Now, this is a genuine problem that almost 8 out of 10 ladies have. It's a common problem worldwide, even in India. In fact, the percentage will be slightly higher in India when you look at the education part. This is the problem. And as of now, till today, the ladies have accepted this as a problem they have to live with life with. हमको इसके साथ तो चलना ही है. ये तो problem है, इसका कोई solution नहीं है, इसका कोई समाधान नहीं है. We have to go with this. But Wonderfit has come with a solution where you can actually, what we do is we teach them how to measure your size yourself. It's a simple 2 minutes process. It will hardly take 2 minutes for you to understand your right size. And unfortunately, there is so much of myth about the lingerie that people don't talk about it. That's where we come into the picture and we educate them and make them talk to people about it. Okay, and again, as you told, you're from a tier 2 city, that's something very interesting and close to my heart also. Most of the ladies who are associated with Wonderfit are from either tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 and smaller towns. I would say 95% of our business happens from smaller towns, not from tier 1 cities. So that is we are trying to be a pathbreaker where we educate women, and through the education, the business also happens. Now we'll go into the business part later. As you keep on asking me, I'll explain you how the business model also works.
On having said that, I want to talk to you about you personally. How were the conversations for you personally when you started with Wonderfit, and how were you able to educate women? I'm sure there would have been so much friction from the other side as well. How did you keep that patience? How did you keep going? How did you remain persistent and and still giving that comfort to talk about these things? How has this been on you personally?
Lata, it has been a roller coaster ride. And since it's a startup and also looking at the subject matter of Wonderfit, it has been a real roller coaster ride, right? But I have literally really enjoyed every part of it or every phase of it. To begin with, when I started talking to people that I want to start a lingerie business and this is my idea, I was a mocking stock initially. Like, how can you do it? You are a guy. And how can you relate to a lingerie business? How will you enter into a female category of business? Okay. And fortunately, what really happened is I also had my own hesitation initially to how do I talk to a lady? How do I explain to a lady about this? I met one elderly lady with whom I thought I could feel a little bit comfortable in talking to her about my business model. And when I explained her, I told her about what Wonderfit wants to do. To my surprise, she took it very well. And in fact, she told me, you have to do this. Because this is one problem which मेरा जिंदगी भर बने ये problem को सहा है, but at least हमारे अगली पीढ़ी लोग ये problem को नहीं सहे. So you have to do this, you have to talk. And I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, that lady is welcoming it. Right. I was expecting some kind of a resistance or a hesitation from her to talk about the intimate health and lingerie, but no, I was surprised. Similarly, when I started meeting ladies and started talking, initially there was a friction, there was a kind of resistance from ladies to talk to me, being a man. But then when they realized the value what we are giving them, okay, they opened up. And in fact, they have given us so many ideas. Okay, it's a lady who comes up and tells, this is my problem. Give us a solution for this. And that's how we have actually grown. In the last 5 years, we have grown, listening to these ladies, understanding the problems. And what really happens is it's the lady herself who's facing a problem. She comes to us with the problem. And most of the time, she also comes with a solution for the problem. We don't need to rack back our brain for that. They themselves tell this is the problem, this is the solution. How do we put it in action? We only help them in putting it in action. Of course, it has been a roller coaster ride. And it has been a fantastic journey. It is more, satisfying when, every day you're doing something good to the society. Yeah. Business is one part. Apart from business, we're also doing good to the society. We are actually addressing a big social cause in the country, which most of them have not, or rather, it has been undermined all these years. So we are addressing that.
But also picking up that one aspect of the business where the women sell through you and you sell through women, right? You've chosen to go for the traditional method, but with some digitization, with some tech also involved, right? Tell us about this unique selling model of yours where you sell through women, through community women, targeting the specific niche of their audience. How do you do that? Tell us about this model that you've gone for.
It's a very, very simple model. We call it direct to home or DTH model. Now, Lata, just want to ask you a simple question here, if you don't mind. Any movie you've seen latest, Lata, any movie you've seen?
Any movie I've watched recently?
Yeah.
Yes, I did watch Fukre that came up recently.
How did you come to know about Fukre? Did any of your friends have seen that, or what was it? What made you see that movie?
My family, my brother brought it to me, so I'm sure he would have heard it from the internet, 100%.
Okay. And you liked the movie?
Average for me. 5-ish, yeah.
Okay, 5-ish, great. Now, if you had liked the movie, what would you do? What would your reaction be?
I would probably go ahead and post on Instagram. I'd tell my friends about it. I'd talk more about it, 100%.
Great, exactly. This is our business model. No rocket science. This is exactly what is our business model. What we do is a lady before joining our system, we call them as consultants. Before becoming a consultant, they are a customer first for us. They buy the product, get our knowledge, our information sharing, the knowledge and all the training that we have to give them. With that information, they buy the product. And only if they like the product, they will talk to their known circle. their friends, relatives, neighbors, so on. That's how the business model works. So first, they are a user themselves. And once they use it and once they're happy with the product, they will recommend it to somebody else. And the business of recommendation it's based on faith, on the trust of the other person. Like, any person, if you ask, like, what is the biggest factor in making a purchase, whether you want to buy an iPhone or a OnePlus, you always check with your warm circle. कि कौन सा phone ठीक रहेगा खरीदने के लिए. So the personal touch or the personal recommendation always plays a very important role. That is what works here. That's how the model of Wonderfit works here. Here, the lady is a consumer first, then she becomes a consultant, joins the business. And once she understands the business model as to how it works, she will go and talk to her warm circle, her neighbors, relatives, friends, give them the same education and showcase them the products to them. They also in turn use the products, and if they like it, they'll recommend it to somebody else. So it's called as a DTH model or word of mouth or direct selling model. That's how the model is. And I find this model is apt for the Indian market. Why? As we discussed earlier, the negatives of going to a shop, and especially when there is a guy standing there, like, you have an hesitation to talk to the person there. And number one is that. Number two, as of today, I'm yet to see a showroom where they'll give the right education about the right size and right fit. In fact, I visit a lot of malls every weekends or every month. I go and just do a market survey. What exactly is happening? Most of the ladies who are selling there do not even have a basic knowledge of lingerie. They are just doing the selling part. That's it. Here in Wonderfit, what really happens is you are sitting at the comfort, convenience, and privacy of your own homes. Okay, that is point number one. Number two, you're talking to somebody whom you know and whom you trust. Okay, you have the touch, feel, try it out, and only if you find it right, you buy the product. And I found this a very highly effective model to sell lingerie in the country, especially when there is so much of social stigma and taboo to talk about it. When a woman to woman talking to each other, they relate to it, they understand. Okay, they will tell when they understand the problem that they have undergone, and they relate to it personally. Yeah, मेरे को भी a problem हुआ था. So this is the solution for that. So that is exactly what the model is, and we talk about only one mantra here, that is comfort inside out. We want you to be comfortable. How will you be comfortable? When you wear the right fit of lingerie.
Right.
So that is how the business model is. And just to give an update on the numbers, we have around 12,000 plus ladies associated with us as of today across the country. Or to be more precise, we are more present in only 4 states in India as of now. Some parts of Karnataka, some parts of Maharashtra, some parts of Arunachal, and some parts of Nagaland. That's all. That's only in these 4 states, and partly, not exactly the entire state, partly in certain pockets we are there. And we have a 12,000 plus force of consultants who are joined with us. And 99.9% of them are homemakers who are doing this business sitting from the comfort of the home. And every woman has got an aspiration that she has to have her own identity in the market. We are helping them through our business model to create their own identity and also make a very good income for themselves, a very good business for themselves.
Understood. So I think anybody can join this if they want to. They can visit Wonderfit as well, your site as well, try your product. If they love it, go ahead, 100%.
Great.
Got it. Moving on, in the long run, from your perspective, what are some, hidden or less discussed problems surrounding the intimate well-being of women that you think of addressing in the long run as well?
Just to add on, we are running an initiative right now on breast cancer awareness. Now, I'm yet to find a lady, even though we are working with a huge network of women. When we talk first time about breast cancer, everybody is aware that they know something. They have heard something about breast cancer somewhere. किसी ने कहीं पर बोला है, मैंने सुना है, मैंने टीवी पे देखा है. But how many of them have actually self-evaluated whether you have, doing a self-analysis or self-test of yourself? How many of them have actually done it? I'm yet to meet one lady like that. Everybody tells, हाँ मैंने सुना है, but आपने टेस्ट किया है, आपने सेल्फ एग्जामिनेशन किया है? नहीं. क्यों? हमेशा से एक थॉट प्रोसेस होता है कि we always believe मुझे नहीं हो सकता. No, it will not happen to me. Now, unfortunately, since we are doing this campaign on breast cancer and we are working pretty aggressively on that, there are some hard-hitting facts which you actually feel the pain when you hear this. Like, every 4 minutes in India, one lady is diagnosed with breast cancer. Okay, then every 13 minutes, one lady dies from breast cancer in India. And if you look at the statistics, last year, 1.38 million were diagnosed with breast cancer in India. And last year, we had 458,000 deaths from breast cancer. Now, when you look at the fact, most of the cases, when they are diagnosed, it is actually too late. Okay, 60 to 70% of the cases are diagnosed when it is actually too late. But a small effort from their end, just to do a self-examination, if they had done that, they would have been saved. So what we are doing right now, we are running a campaign where we make this lady do a self-examination themselves then and there, and also we make them commit that they should be talking to at least 10 ladies in their warm circle and educate them about that and make them do a self-analysis. And I think this has had a good impact in the market. And going forward, we'll also do a lot of campaigns where we're also planning to have kind of camps for breast cancer checking, the campons. Like we were planning for that also in the near future. In different small towns, we'll be appointing a doctor who will be going there and doing a breast cancer analysis for those things. And yeah, having said that, the ladies, when a lady is talking to another lady, they are in a comfortable zone. So they are also able to do a self-analysis. And just to give an example, I was in a small town last 20 days back. I was in a very small town where I was addressing a group of around 20 ladies. And when I started talking about breast cancer, when I started addressing this problem, not even one has actually done a self-analysis. And they themselves committed कि आज हम जाके इस पे हम खुद will do a self-analysis and minimum 10 लोग को हम बताएंगे इसके बारे में, and will ensure that they do their self-check. I think this small exercise, when it multiplies, it will have a huge impact on the society. So we are trying our bit in a small way, which will have a snowballing effect in the long run for sure. Having said that, as I told initially, we are a lingerie brand. Wonderfit is a lingerie brand. Okay, so we are not just selling lingerie, but we are doing all these things. All this encompasses and comes in as a business model as such together. And lingerie sells itself, and it is a byproduct of the actual product. The actual product is what we've been discussing all this time.
Right. The education, the knowledge, awareness. Understood. Okay, and a very specific question I want to ask you, because we've been talking about laundry. Many women are not aware of that correct bra size, their laundry size, right? How, could you explain how Wonderfit also helps women in finding that perfect size for them?
We do have our own videos. We have presentations. We have videos which circulate, which we tell them. We showcase the videos and tell them this is how you have to actually measure your right size, and also educate them through the process. We also show them the education part where we tell, see, one question mark which is there in everybody's mind is, what is the lifespan of laundry? Whether it is a bra or a panty, what is the lifespan? And in fact, I've seen people using it for years together. And the commonest thing is, andar kaun dekhta hai? It is not a question of andar kaun dekhta hai. It is a matter of your good health. It's a matter of your wellness, well-being. Lingerie should not be used for more than 90 to 100 washes. After that, it has to be discarded.
Correct.
90 to 100 washes is the maximum what you can use it. But after that, people use it for infinite kind of. They keep on using it for years and years. And even if the elastic is gone, they still adjust it and use it, which is a wrong practice. In fact, that's what we educate through all the system. And especially if you talk about a bra, the bra size keeps on varying every 4 to 6 months. But how many of them are aware about this? वही size पहन रहे हैं, कितने साल से, पिछले 4-5 साल से वही size पहन रहे हैं, and you're continuing wearing the same size, whether it fits you correctly or not. No, that is the bra size I buy, and that's what I wear. And also, how many of them know about the cup size?
Yeah.
A lot of educated people also don't know. They know, okay, आपका bra size क्या है? 34. 34 what? What is the cup size? B, C, D, E, P, what exactly? And when we ask them the cup size, they don't even know. And I always tell, it is not their mistake, it is not their fault. Nobody is educating them about it.
Yeah.
And wearing the wrong cup size also matters a lot. Okay. Now, one more commonest thing that we hear is a lady should not wear, what they have seen some videos on YouTube and all, saying a lady should not be wearing a bra while sleeping.
Yeah.
Which is true. You should not be wearing a regular bra, because a regular bra's engineering, the technology, the technique or the engineering which is used in that is meant for you when you're walking, when you're talking, when you're sitting or standing, the posture. When you're sleeping, you should not be using that bra. But then there are certain products which is called as specific products called as a sleep bra.
Okay.
How many of them know about a sleep bra? Nobody. Most of them don't even know, not even heard about a sleep bra. So all this education, what we do is we make sure that we educate them about all those things. And whether they do business or not, Lata, whether they do business or not, we have to impart the education to them, which we do. And fortunately for us, we have a strike rate of between 60 to 80%. When they get the knowledge, they also come and join the system and become a part of the system and do the business for themselves.
Right. Essentially, because you're building the trust, and these are the businesses where you require trust as the most important factor. Absolutely. Talking about just before we wrap up, one last question about this laundry market, which I'm also curious about. Most of it is unorganized. 60%, more than 60% is unorganized. Only some part of it is organized. And then there are luxury brands as well in the same space. Where do you see this space evolving in the, let's say, next 5-10 years, as somebody who's also in the space?
We come into the category of economy and mass category. We come into that category of economy and mass because that is the category which has the maximum potential in business, in terms of business. So our products are into that category. And as a brand, when you talk about Wonderfit as a brand, because of our unique business model, we stand apart. We have a brand identity of our own, where you may not find a product in a retail outlet. You may not find a hoarding of a product when you walk on the street or when you're on the road. But yes, you will find a lot of ladies talking about the Wonderfit. That's how we focus and we position ourselves as such as a brand. Number two, talking about the market potential, which you rightly said, that 60% of that is unorganized. Our focus is on that segment. 60% of the market which is unorganized, our focus is to make it organized through our business model.
Right.
I believe that a woman talking to another woman about lingerie is the most apt and the right way for the Indian market. I very strongly believe in that. And it's not just me just talking in air. We have actually practically done it. Last 5 years we've been doing it. And we have been a profitable organization, just to add on to that, like the last 5 years. And in fact, on the very first year, we have been profitable. This is the 6th year. 5 years we completed, and this is the 6th year in operations. And till date, we are completely bootstrapped. So that speaks a lot about the business model.
Understood. Definitely, and even I think read a lot about this laundry market. It is a profitable space, right? Given that you're able to build the trust with the audience, you're definitely going to be profitable. But you have to put in the work to earn that trust, and you're doing that as a brand. Very happy to see such brands coming up from India. And on that sweet note, Prasanna, thank you so much for doing this conversation. Very insightful, very lovely talking to you. It's like I said initially, it's not very common that you see, these kind of businesses come up, these kind of people like you come up, talk about things taboo and take it as a business. So we really appreciate your efforts, and we wish the best for Wonderfit. We're totally with you. And thank you so much again, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lata. Thank you.